Breakfast, this segment is brought to you by Fisher Funds. There are 3.4 million people enrolled in KiwiSaver. However, 1.6 million of those aren't making any contributions. Robyn Conway from Fisher Funds is here to talk us through the importance of regular contributions and to offer some suggestions for those looking to restart their contributions. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, a huge number who aren't actually contributing. Why not?
Yes, so it is a huge number. If we take out those who are under 18 or over 65, it actually does bring it down to 1 million New Zealanders who aren't contributing but could be.
All right, so we'll cut them some slack, the ones that are in those categories. What about the rest of them? What are we going to do about them?
Yes, well, there's not one single reason as to why they're not contributing. Things like affordability pressures, there's people who have gone and paused their contributions and just not restarted them. And then there's those who, unfortunately, are just disengaged with KiwiSaver more generally. Cost of living has definitely played a role. For many, long-term savings feels like something that they can pause at the moment. So where it becomes important is just making sure that from a behavioural perspective, that doesn't become a long-term habit. We kind of liken it to the likes of a gym membership. It feels like you can put it on pause in winter and next thing you know, 2 summers have passed and you wish that you'd keep those memberships going. So yeah, it's just important to keep it going.
So why is it important to actually have the regularity of the contribution?
Yes, so one of the most important things about KiwiSaver and what it really rewards is consistency of contributions. So it's one of the best ways that you can make the most of your KiwiSaver over time. Compounding interest works best with time, so having those regular contributions and the consistency for long periods is going to benefit you at retirement. There's also some modelling that's done that shows, people who pause their contributions end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars less by the time they reach retirement, so it is really important.
Big difference, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And, for those who are on parental leave or part-time work, caregiving breaks, they're most impacted because of the pauses that they have throughout their careers. So for those people, it's really important because it does directly translate to poorer outcomes at retirement. So if you can, keeping those contributions going is key.
Well, there are going to be some people that just can't afford it though, right?
That's right. And so for many New Zealanders at the moment, I think it's important that we do recognise that. There would be no expectation if you couldn't afford KiwiSaver that you would be contributing to it. That said, if you could put away $20 to $25 per week, that will keep the habit going. It means that you are still likely to receive the benefits such as the government contribution. And I think for people, it's not all or nothing. It's putting some small amounts away and keeping that habit going.
So if you're in a position where you can restart your contributions, what's the best way about going about that?
Yes, it's very easy. If you're employed, you just reach out to your employer and opt back in. Often one of the hardest things for people is making the decision to opt back in. I would encourage people to look at retirement calculators and populate some of the numbers and just see what that end goal retirement number might look like, because that number might prompt some action for people. So it's really easy.
If you're a sole trader or a freelancer, what about then?
Yes, so also very easy, a little bit more manual. You would just set up an automatic payment in your banking app. Again, liken it to any other essential expense that you might have and just get it set up through an automatic payment.
Okay, sounds pretty simple then. Robyn Conway from Fisher Funds, thank you so much for joining us on Breakfast this morning. Appreciate it.
E haere ake nei, your 7 o'clock news.